Guys, longest time. Okay, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victory Jesume IMFA. For those who do not know me, also known as VJ. So this is a very very snappy video. I did not plan for it because I wanted it to be as original as possible. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing tips on how to successfully learn a language, right? So I've been having people asking me questions like, how did you successfully learn language by yourself? And then most times when I communicate with Chinese people and they're like, "Ni da when she's an shredder." And most times I'm like, she's a shredder. They are usually very surprised, like, how do you get to pull through, learning something all by yourself from the scratch? Because of this, I have decided to, share my tips on how to learn a language successfully from the scratch. And it doesn't just work for only languages, also work for other skills because I have been able to learn like a couple of other skills like video editing, and I'm currently on UI UX design all by myself. So if you should ask me if I were to start language learning in 2025 all by myself from the scratch, what would I do? Sit back, keep your fingers crossed, and enjoy this video. Okay, so my number one tip on how to learn a language in 2025, if I were to begin learning a language in 2025, number one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to first investigate the best language to learn in 2025, because the truth be told, what you get from one language is entirely different from what you're going to get from other languages, right? So some people want to learn a language simply because they want to travel to that country. Maybe they want to travel to China, they want to travel to Italy, they want to travel to different countries. So you have to check the reason why you're learning this language. So the reason is going to determine the kind of language you will pick. If you're learning it because you want to make money, right, you need to think of the language that's going to make you make money within the fastest possible time or within the shortest possible time, right? So by the time you're done picking the language through your research and all of that, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be using Chinese as a case study because Chinese was like the first official foreign language that I learned, even though I eventually learned Spanish and all of that, and I made attempts at learning German. I'm just going to be using majorly Chinese as a case study because it's the language that I use the most and it's a language that gives me more money. So if I were to start learning Chinese from the scratch, what would I do? Number one, I am going to first apply for a course on Coursera and then follow through the course to the end. And the truth is that it's actually difficult for people to follow through Coursera courses because number one, they lack the patience to be able to pull through. Number two, they do not know the right courses to, pick, right? So I would advise that before you pick a particular course on Coursera, you need to go through, the course content and know if this course promises to give you what you want, right? After that, you apply for this course. Now, note that Coursera is not free of charge. You have to pay a certain amount of money, right? If you do not have the money to pay for a Coursera course, then you could apply for financial aid. If you do not know how to successfully apply for a financial aid, you can send me an email. You can check the description below for my email address. You can send me a message on my email. I'm going to put you through on how to apply for a financial aid for you to be able to get, a good response. But note that it is not for free, it is for a token. So number two thing I'm going to do if I should start learning a language in 2025 is I am going to download Duolingo. Now, Duolingo is underestimated. Many people kind of feel like, Duolingo is outdated, things like that. Duolingo is not outdated. Duolingo helps you to master words and sentences and phrases in a new language, right? So I feel like through my experience learning languages, I've realized that the only way you get to successfully understand the language and speak it is by immersing yourself in the language. And what Duolingo does for you is that it helps you get immersed in that language. Of course, there are paid versions for you have the paid version and then the free version. So I feel like the first year I actually learned Chinese, I made use of the free version. Of course, you have to deal with art and all of that, but your learning pace will be slower compared to when you get to, pay for it. It's usually faster because when I tried to learn Spanish, I made use of the paid version, right? And it was very snappy. I didn't really waste much time because I had little to no time on my hands. So I needed to, do something very snappy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll go on Duolingo and then get myself immersed in it. It's like a game. It's a game-based app, so you can enjoy yourself and get yourself immersed in it. Number three thing I'm going to do if I'm going to be learning a language from the scratch in 2025 is I'm going to watch movies, to look for movies in that particular language and turn on my subtitle, right, to help me understand them. But even though your subtitle is turned on, as you listen, your ears are listening to the language while your eyes can watch the captions in the language you understand already. But then somehow there's a way that language begins to get stored up in your subconscious. So if I were to learn a new language, I'm going to download lots of movies in that particular language, get myself immersed in it, and that's it. So number four thing I'm going to do if I want to learn a new language, or if I want to learn a new language in 2025, is to make friends with native speakers. How do you make friends with native speakers? There are several platforms in which you can make friends with native speakers. I have tried to, make friends with people on Facebook. I still have some friends that I made on Facebook since 2020, and they are still my friends till now. So I'm just going to connect with them, try to speak these languages with them. And also, there's this Ome TV, right? When you make use of Ome Chat, you can get to connect with people all over the world. So you can pick the country you want. If you're learning Chinese, you can just click on Chinese, and they'll start suggesting people in that particular country, native speakers in that particular country of interest, right? And then you could make new friends, you could communicate with them, and of course add them on WeChat, and tell them to be your communication partner, right? So that's the number fourth thing I'm going to do. And lastly, if I were to learn Chinese in 2025, I am going to get an accountability partner, because there's one thing about learning all by yourself. I tell people learning all by yourself is not something everybody can do. It's something that sounds easy, but it's just like when they say when you're driving a car with your mouth, you won't have an accident. But when it comes to reality, definitely you realize that it isn't so easy, right? So if I were to learn in 2025, I'll get an accountability partner and pay a commitment fee. So if for every single day that I do not study, right, I'll get to pay that fee. So that way it keeps me up and doing, because I hate to be faulted, right? I do not like to be faulted. So most times I like to do the right thing. But if nobody's keeping me accountable, most times I can misbehave, right? So I would advise you get an accountability partner that is going to, help you to be consistent, because the only way to succeed as a self-taught language or as a self-taught linguist is consistency. If there's no consistency, I can assure you that you go nowhere. So these are basically all the tips I have for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Keep your fingers crossed as I update you on more tips on how to, progress with your language learning journey in subsequent videos. Thank you very much. Please do also subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section, and bye.